Sometimes the most serene forest can turn into your worst nightmare. Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorns. I'm Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Iron Hill Media's first feature film, Geng Kubur. Directed by Gavin Yap, this local supernatural horror film tells the story of Han and his three friends who enter an infamously haunted forest to find some answers. What they find, however, is something a lot more sinister and a lot more disturbing, to say the least. Now, that synopsis is as much as I can say without giving away the story, because there is a lot to uncover here, and from the trailer, it leaves very much more to the imagination than first expected. When I first went into this film, I was already intrigued. Because of the trailers, I knew this was going to be something different, but I did not expect how different this was going to be, in a good way. This very much has Gavin Yap written all over it, and it is very much in style with the type of films that he does. You can tell that he's used a lot of his film influences in life and brought it into this script and this film. It shows very much, especially with the 80s soundtrack synthwave, as well as sort of reminding me of those 80s films such as Stand By Me or The Lost Boys. It's a combination of the two, and it shows. This is unlike any local horror film that I've seen before. It's chilling, it's disturbing, it has some great imagery behind it, and it's very haunting at the end of the day, and it will stay with you long after the credits roll. Collaborating with writer Hani Ahmad, the two of them have written a wonderful script that showcases a lot of deep traumas and deep fears that live within these kids, and a lot of things that we can possibly relate to as well. This is actually quite a relatable story in some sense. The two of them have carefully crafted the stories for these four characters and rounded them in a very good way that doesn't make it seem jarring or whatnot. They each have their own personalities, their own backstories, and it's fleshed out in a wonderful way that you understand every single one of them. And speaking of individual stories, none of it could have happened without their four lead actors. I'm not even going to say ensemble, because each of them felt like they had their own shining moment and was so individually well crafted that they all shined at some point or another. And the chemistry that the four of them had was great. You actually believe that they were friends, childhood friends, that have had a long history together and had a lot of fun together. Not one of them is left behind, and that's credit to the both of them as scriptwriters. Visually, however, Gavin and his DOP Karo and Baha have developed some really haunting shots that honestly, there were times that I really wanted to turn away, but I just couldn't. I was so fixated on the eyes of the actors, and there's just some strong imagery at play here. Some of the shots that the two of them have created, honestly, it really sends chills down my spine because I just couldn't look away. I wanted to, but there was just something that grabbed me and just wouldn't let go. And combined with the soundscape and composition that Ashwin Gobanath has created, it creates this very eerie atmosphere as you're watching it. And it honestly, I say it time and time again, you cannot look away for a moment. You are drawn and sucked into everything that is playing out on screen. This is very much a film, dare I say it, that is Gavin Yap unleashed. I can tell this is Gavin all over, and I love it because of that fact. It is something unlike I think a lot of Malaysian audiences have seen. This showcases what Malaysian filmmakers can actually do, and I'm so glad that it's been pushed out to international markets, having premiered over in Vietnam in one of their film festivals. Geng Kubur is one of those films that will definitely put Malaysian filmmakers and films at the center stage of the international market and hopefully go further places, because this is something I believe everybody should go and catch at least once. This film is suspenseful, it's horrific, it's thrilling, it's exciting, it's everything that you hoped that a local horror film could be. And I hope that Malaysian audiences will receive this well, because it deserves all the love that it can give. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, that's a given, but I promise you, if you give this a chance, you will be rewarded by some fantastic filmmaking. So do yourself a favor, Geng Kubur comes out in local cinemas this Thursday, the 25th of April nationwide. As with all local films, there is a limited window that you can go and watch it, so make sure you go and catch it as soon as possible. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And as always, you can check us out on all social media, TikTok, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Go and subscribe and follow these channels for more updates. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nick Dorian, and as always, keep watching the movies.